The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds. As a deer hunter, I want to know all I can about America's favorite big game animal. That's why I became a deer farmer. Without deer farms, we lose our greatest resource for research and whitetail management. With them, we gain more knowledge than ever before. Join me as we discover the truth about whitetails and meet those who work every day to preserve this great species for future generations. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories. It's a foggy morning out here in West Texas. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Keith Warren, and on today's program, when the fog clears, we're going to show you the most remarkable makeover I have ever seen on a deer farm.
My name is Lisa Sheffield Rowe, and I'm the operations manager at Poverty Canyon Whitetails. The ranch is located 20 miles north of San Angelo, right down the road from a little town called Tennyson, Texas. The facility here has been around for approximately 10 years and has been under new ownership since 2014. Currently, we have approximately 350 deer, and this is comprised of about 150 bucks, 100 does, and the rest are yearlings, and then we have a brand new crop of fawns coming up. Our goal here at Poverty Canyon Whitetails is to consistently raise the biggest typicals we can and to help others do the same thing. Last year at this time when Keith came out, I had only been here a few months and the place was in disrepair. It needed fences brought down, pens taken care of.
Last year we came out to Poverty Canyon Whitetails and we featured the program. And the place was in need of some TLC. You may be wondering, why is that? Well, because it recently changed hands. The new owner assembled a team headed by my friend Lisa Sheffield Rowe. And I'll tell you what, after I left last year, I knew that they had their hands full.
The transformation on this place over the last year would not have been possible without the help of my team.
Lisa is what I would call the general manager out here. And then you've got her other staff. You've got Tuffy and Seth. And Tuffy and Seth spend hours every day looking at every single deer on the place. And then you've got Scott. Scott's out here, he's doing whatever needs to be done, really. He's from feeding the trough to checking the water to medicating the animals to bottle feeding the fawns. So there's no telling where you're going to see Scott out here. Then you've got Charlie. She's out here all over the place, and she's got her babies. I mean, she loves these deer. She spends lots of time with them. And when she spends a lot of time with them like that, she's able to tell if they're feeling good or not. And if they're feeling bad, they certainly take care of them. Charlie also does some of the photography work out here.
At Poverty Canyon, we love our deer. We are out in the pens every day, all day, making sure that the deer are okay. I've been working at Poverty Canyon since 2014. I met Lisa out here last year when she came out to bottle raise, and she trained me on bottle raising, and that's what I do out here most generally. We're a great team.
I've been working for Lisa out here for about a year now. She definitely knows her pedigrees. I'm really ready for the next few years on our fawns to grow up and see what they turn into. I think she's got a good program running here.
I like working out here. I've been out here for 3 years. I love working with whitetail deer, exotics. It's awesome.
We work well together, and it doesn't really seem like you're working when we're together.
What I like most about Lisa is her what ifs. What if I turn that bucket over and there's a two-headed snake under there and one bites me and one bites you? You know, all these constantly what ifs all the time.
I really enjoy working for Lisa because she's a really positive person, and we really work together as a team.
You know what I love about her most? I love about her most is the fact that in May she sings Christmas carols.
She pushes us to work hard and keep the pens clean and try to keep the deer healthy.
She's a real people person. It's easy to talk to her about whether you have ideas or just a question about anything. I'm new to all of this, so it's nice to have somebody that'll sit down and talk with you and teach you some things.
I've known Lisa for over 10 years now, and I can tell you something about her. She's hardworking and she's dedicated as can be. When she and her team set out to get this place in perfect order, she was going to get it done. It was just a matter of time. The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by New Dart, leading the industry in accuracy. If you take a look at the pens this year versus last year, this year it really is unbelievable. Every single one of these pens was really overgrown last year, and they've come in and they have done a tremendous amount of work. They've cleaned out all the underbrush, they've trimmed up the trees. Every one of these pens has got like a carport in it, a shade cover.
What we've accomplished over this last year has been a lot of work. A lot of long hours, a lot of hot days, working in the ice during the wintertime, revolving what we do in the pens around our hunting season, and none of this would have been possible without the help from my team. The difference in this year and last year is that we were able to get in there and take cross fences down. Now we're able to see the deer and the deer are able to see us, which makes them more calm. It also helps us to make sure that they're healthy. The weather right now is absolutely non-typical for this time of year. It's been raining on and off, it's been hot, it's been cool. Every morning we come out and give our deer a mixture of peanuts and apples.
Look at all the babies. I want some peanuts.
Well, first off, I want to tell you the pens look remarkable, and I know how much work it took to get them this way. And the next thing I want to say looks remarkable is Tex. I cannot believe how good he looks this year.
Thank you.
And what, he's 12 years old?
He is 12, and his antlers actually look a little better this year. I put him on 14 girls in his pen, and I've got 7 fawns out of him on the ground right now.
And folks, Tex is basically the mascot here, I would say.
Yeah.
So these does that are in here with him, these look like they're yearling does, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. They were last year's bottle babies.
You know, when these deer get old, I mean, somebody may think, well, you've got a breeder buck like Tex. What's going to happen to him? I mean, is somebody going to shoot him? Answer that question. Over your dead body.
Yeah, no, he's not going anywhere. He will stay in these pens with his little girlfriends until
the end.
the end, yeah.
I mean, and you know what? And look at him. I mean, he's doing really, really good. And a 12-year-old deer in the wild would be 1 in probably a million. And I mean, there's so much of his blood running through all these pens. And on today's show, we're going to take a look at the 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and 1-year-olds, and show you around and show you the work that they've been doing out here, and show you that this gal, she can flat get it done with her crew. All right, before we show you these deer, folks, I want to go back to last year, and I want to show you what some of the pens around here look like. Y'all have really done a phenomenal job. These are all 3-year-olds? Yes. The first observation I have is they're pretty, every one of them. Okay, and that's exactly in par with what you're trying to accomplish here. Nice, pretty, typical framed deer. Why are these guys in here? Is there any important reason why these are here?
I have them sorted out by pedigrees and stuff, so I've got 3 big 2-acre pens, and these are where I keep the majority of my 3-year-olds.
Okay, so these deer right here, would these deer be what we call pasture deer?
Yes.
Okay, so folks, if you're wondering what pasture deer are, pasture deer, turnout deer, release deer. And right now, this is as a deer breeder, this is where you really make your money. You raise them up to the point through this age right here, and people want to buy these genetics to put them on their high fence properties. The reason why is because look at them. I mean, they're beautiful, they have all good genetics, and people bring in these genetics in order to help improve the genetics on their piece of property. Okay, if somebody wants more information to contact Poverty Canyon, give them a phone number.
325-473-3140.
And what y'all need to do is you need to come out here, call Lisa and make a time to come out here. Typically the best time to come is going to be in August. but August is really, really hot. Right now we're blessed with some nice cloud cover. If you're gonna come out here, you probably need to come out here first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening when before it gets really hot during the day, and take a look at the deer, and I think you're gonna be impressed. All right, show me some more 3-year-olds.
Okay.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds.
If I was asked what the favorite part of my job is, I have to simply say the deer themselves. From the bucks growing antlers and velvet to watching does have babies. There's nothing better in this world than watching a newborn fawn being born. There's work, it's hot, it's long hours, sometimes it's freezing and snowy. You have to go out there and feed them and check the waters, but at the end of the day, not everybody gets to be around white-tailed deer the way that I am. And I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to have this job.
All right, folks, so this is the 3-year-old pen that's got the breeders in it, right?
Yes.
So did you use these last years too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we were out here last summer, these deer, we got film of all these deer right here, and then you chose them to do the breeding, but did you do your primary breeding with it or the backup breeding?
Both.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've got offspring on the ground on all these guys?
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you what, they're beautiful, but that one right there, he is by far my favorite one. I mean, he's just got everything.
Yeah.
And he's 3?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what bloodline that's out of.
He is out of a Tex Roller son.
Okay. I mean, he's got everything. He's got everything that I want in a deer,
Yeah.
and I think most people want in a deer. He's wide, he's heavy, he's tall, he's just a real pretty deer. But so, out of all these deer, if somebody was to want to buy a fawn, okay, from you, will you sell fawns?
Yes.
Okay, because a lot of people will not sell fawns, and every fawn that you sell, will it be registered?
Yes, we do DNA on all of our deer.
Okay, so folks, I want to point something out. Texas has, we've had chronic wasting disease in Texas in certain facilities, very, very few. And Texas Parks and Wildlife Department has made the deer breeders that really want to stay in business, giving them an ultimatum. You're going to go to a TC1 or you're going to be out of business. It's important to let you know that chronic wasting disease is something that now is a real serious issue in Texas. And why? Because it was found in one captive herd and it touched a few people around the state. It was so far from Poverty Canyon that you can't imagine, but the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department has come in like any government agency, and they're going to do what's right, okay? And so they're going to require every deer farm to test their deer. That's okay, but they required only 50% of the herd to be tested to be TC1. Now TC1 is a level that everybody really wants to get to, so they had to test 50% of their animals to get to TC1. Poverty Canyon did not do that. You know what they did? They tested 100% of the animals. They don't take any chances here. They don't cut any corners. They tested 100% of their animals. I would highly encourage you to deal with somebody that is a TC1 facility, and you're not going to find anybody that has tested more than 100% of their herd. So if somebody wants to buy deer from you or come out and take a look at your deer, give them a phone number.
325-473-3140.
All right, right now let's go take a look at some 2-year-olds.
Okay.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by New Dart, leading the industry in accuracy. All right, so these are the 1-year-olds?
Yes.
Although every one of these deer that you're looking at and that we've shown you on today's show has got excellent pedigrees. Okay, the blood is really good on it. Some of them are better than others. It's just, and I wish we knew as deer farmers why that was. You know, as you're looking at the 1-year-olds, I mean, there's some of them in there that are really, really nice, and some of them that, well, they're not that nice. But blood-wise, they're all about the same. I don't think there's ever been a better time for somebody to get into the deer business than right now. I think that the reason for that is twofold. I think that you can take advantage of people's years and years of stacking the genetics and I mean, look what we've shown you on today's show. But also prices. I mean, when you start taking a look at the prices, for dollar for dollar what you can buy today versus 5 years ago, don't you think it's just crazy?
Yeah.
Entry-wise, what would you say the entry-level price would be on deer?
Well, what I do out here is I put customized packages together for people, whether they want a breeder buck or some does, or they want 10 does or stalkers. So most of the time, if you come to me and say you have $5,000, and then we talk about what you want, what's going to work best for your herd, then we sit down and we can go back and forth. And I like it when people are getting in the deer business, and so I want to help them as much as I can. And we've got great genetics out here, so I like the customized package deal.
It's like I tell people, there are people in this business that make things right, and then there's people that make things more than right, and Lisa makes things more than right. So if you're interested in getting deer farming, give them a telephone number they can call to kind of just chat with you.
325-473-3140.
I've been coming out here to this ranch for about 15 years now. I've spent a lot of time hunting out here. I know this place. I've been all over it. It's a big piece of property, 2,300 acres under high fence out here. The facilities here at Poverty Canyon, really, they're over the top. Let me just check this place out. It is the perfect location for any corporate group that wants to maybe have corporate meetings or conduct some deer hunts at the same time. All right, Sam writes, thanks for such an informative program. I'm a dairy farmer and I'm fascinated about the deer industry. Looks like one day I will be a deer farmer. My question is about records. In the dairy industry, record keeping is made easy with computer software. How do deer farmers keep accurate records? Sam, they keep accurate records the same way you do as in the dairy industry. We have a specialized program called GMS. It's game management software that is specifically for the deer industry. It's what everybody uses. There's now a new program called the Field Master, and the Field Master is something you can put on your telephone, you can put on your iPad, you can go out and you can take all the information out and you put it on your handheld, come back and upload it to your main program. It's just slick. That's called the Field Master, but the software is made by Game Management Software. So deer farming, lots of records, and we got to keep them straight. GMS helps us. Sam, thanks for the question. If you have any questions or comments about today's program, I want to hear from you. Shoot me an email and I promise you, I'll get right back with you. If you'd like to contact the folks at Poverty Canyon Whitetails, we'll have a direct link off of our website to theirs. I'm Keith Warren, and I'd like to thank you for watching Deer and Wildlife Stories.